Thank you for watching Talk with the Fund Manager today. We are delighted to have Christopher Smart from Barings to share his view about macroeconomy. Christopher is head of the Barings Investment Institute, leading analysts drawn from the diverse perspective of Barings investment team to explore the impact of economy and political developments on financial markets. Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning.
From tariff to technology, there are too many conflicts between US and China. What is the future of the trade war?
I think it's very hard to tell at this stage. There are a lot of issues that separate China and the United States. I think there is a lot of effort from both sides to find a path forward, particularly on trade. But the trick will be to not only take this next step, but to figure out how to keep it from interfering with issues that divide us on technology, on national security issues, and others. It becomes more complicated in the United States because we're moving into an election year. But I think, at least in the near term, my base case is that we will at least be able to solve the deal of tariffs and trade.
Another question is, yield curve inversion is usually a sign for recession. Should we fear the recession or late cycle risk right now?
Well, we're getting towards the late part of the cycle, and I think everybody is very attuned to the data that has been coming through, that it is a little weaker than we expect, and that has been putting a lot of pressure on the Fed and other central banks to be more accommodative with their monetary policy. I think what we're looking at for the most part is how much the data is slowing down. It's not really signaling a recession, I don't think, but it is clear that things are slowing down. But at least in the United States, you have some very encouraging signs of productivity growth, which will help with earnings, which will keep inflation under control, and will be able to keep financial conditions from tightening too much. So those are the things that at this late stage in the cycle I think are important to keep in mind.
We have already seen some stimulus policies from Chinese government. Do you expect Chinese economy will bottom out in the second half of 2019?
Well, we hope so. And when you say bottom out, I mean the Chinese economy has been growing so fast for almost 20 years now. There's a natural deceleration, which is healthy as the Chinese government rebalances a focus on infrastructure, manufacturing, and exports towards more domestic demand, services, and more market influences on prices and economic activity. So I think there's a genuine and genuinely healthy deceleration in the Chinese economy. I think what we're concerned about right now is, will it decelerate too quickly? And so far it seems as if the Chinese government has responded very actively with both fiscal measures, monetary measures. The real part that is hard to assess as an investor is the health and reforms in the financial sector, the banking system in particular. But I think overall it seems as if the response to the slowdown has been real, well organized, and probably in time.
Looking ahead over the next 3 to 5 years, what are the challenges and opportunity lies ahead? And where should we be looking for the new growth drivers?
Well, I think the new growth drivers will come mainly from technology and from companies learning to adapt to that technology. We've done a lot of work on the Internet of Things and how that is changing business models in almost every economic sector. And I think if you are an investor, you need to be asking the companies you invest in whether they are aware of this technology, taking advantage of it, and really trying to put it to use to drive productivity gains, because it offers them tools for dramatically better analysis of their own operations, of their competitors' operations, and much greater efficiencies. So I think those are the kinds of things that when we look back 5 years from now and say, what is it that has driven the next stage of earnings growth, it'll come from that.
Thank you, Christopher, from Barings.
Thank you.